welcome to my channel. Today I thought it would be fun to kind of review my fitness journey starting back in 2015. So that's 6 years ago now. In 2015, I had decided I wanted to lose weight. I was very unhappy with where I was at. I wasn't very active. Essentially, I just wanted to lose some weight, get more fit. I've always been somewhat of an active / athletic person. I ran track in high school all 4 years. That kept me really active. I had a lot of fun in track. I really enjoyed working out and getting in a sweat. So 2015 came. How old was I? I was in my 20s. I had my college years. I was ready to get back in shape, get active, get healthy, get fit. I wasn't quite sure how to go about it. When I took these pictures, I was over 130 pounds, like maybe 135. At this time, I didn't quite know the most effective way to lose weight. I knew it's always good to work out. I always knew calories played a role in weight loss. Luckily, my husband knew the importance of protein, so he always told me to eat protein and then just, watch your sugar intake. I didn't know this at the time, but not because sugar is inherently bad, it's just sugar can quickly increase your total caloric intake, especially when you don't realize the amount of sugar you're consuming. I remember I would drink Slim Fast every morning, and my husband looked at the nutritional facts and it was like 20 grams of sugar, which is kind of crazy for a weight loss drink. So I'm so glad he pointed that out to me. I ditched those really quickly. April, I had the goal of losing weight. I didn't quite know how, and I think I started working out, but I might have not been very consistent. And I'm not quite sure what I did with nutrition. So a few months had passed. So these are the pictures from June, July, from working out a bit. I don't remember exactly what I did, but I was not tracking calories or macros. That comes in August. From end of August to the end of November, August, September, October, November, 3 months. I tracked my macros because I was using MyFitnessPal and they just track your macros, but I was really more concerned with calories, but I knew to eat more protein. I didn't know how much, but I ended up eating between 100 and 150 grams of protein each day. And that's actually exactly what would be needed for my body weight, because you want to eat about 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. And that puts me at 104 to 156 grams of protein. So that's like exactly what I was eating. So I just got lucky there. And then I was eating around 15 to 1600 calories. So I didn't have like a set macro I was aiming for. I don't know exactly how I knew to eat that much calories. It might have been what MyFitnessPal recommended and it just kind of worked for me. But like there was a lot of fluctuation day to day. Like I said, I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I was trying to eat more protein, reduce my calories, and then I was working out. So what's really cool is that I weighed myself almost every single day during this time. So it's so cool that I have this data now. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to this. I went back and looked at my weight and I calculated the weekly averages from these 3 months, and I made a graph because like I said, I'm a nerd like that. And you can see how my weight fluctuated from day to day, but the trend line is going down. And this brings up so many important points about this scale and how it's such an amazing tool that I highly recommend using, but you have to understand that your weight fluctuates due to many reasons, such as the food you're consuming weighs something. So if you had a large meal the night before, that's gonna increase your weight. Water retention plays a big role. If you increase your carbs, you're gonna retain more water. If you eat high sodium, you're gonna retain more water. And the same true if like you're just starting out on a new diet and you're reducing your carbs, you're gonna see an initial drop in your weight, and that's mostly gonna be due to water and not necessarily fat. So it's great that that happens, but don't think that's a bunch of fat coming off right away, because that decrease in your weight is gonna slow down. So don't let that discourage you. You can see there's a lot of up and down throughout this time, but so in any given day, it may feel like it's not working and you're not losing weight because all you see is that 1 pound or 2 pound increase from the day before. But knowing that you're working out, knowing that you're eating right, you just have to trust that over time your weight will go down as long as you're eating right. because nutrition definitely plays a huge role in any sort of weight loss goal, fat loss goal, or even building muscle. I also took the weekly average and graphed that, and so there's not as much fluctuation because you're gonna see a lot more day-to-day fluctuation than you are going to see if you take a week average each week. You should generally see a decline, but even for me that wasn't the case. 1 week average did go up a couple times from the week prior, and that could be due to things like where I'm at on my menstrual cycle. It could be because, like I said, I wasn't eating exactly the same every day. There was a bit of variation there. Some weeks I might have been more lenient in my diet, but that's okay because I got right back on track, and then you can see overall the trend going down. In August, I started out at about 130 pounds, and by the end of 3 months, I was down to 119 actually. I was actually really happy with my progress, and I stopped tracking and stopped weighing myself. So this is October 2015, so it was still kind of in the mid of me losing weight. So October, I was still around like 125, so I was like halfway through the weight loss journey. And then you can see here in November and then January, which is shortly after. So I was still maintaining the weight loss. I was still working out regularly. Like after this is when I started really loving working out and fitness, and it's only grown since then. And then a few years go by. Through these few years, I just worked out at home. I did body weight workouts. We did have some dumbbells, so I would incorporate that a bit. I didn't fully understand what resistance training was, and I definitely didn't know what progressive overload was. So those few years I was kind of just wanting to become more fit and more athletic, but I didn't do my research to fully understand what that takes or the exercises I should be doing to achieve my goals. So I was kind of wandering like aimlessly these few years, like having these goals but not having the effective means to reach my goals. This is September 2016, probably at the beginning of some sort of Instagram challenge that I didn't finish. And then this is this is like 6 months later, February 2017, same thing. And I started tracking my macro/calories again in October and November of 2018. I was eating around 200 calories, 140 grams of protein. I think that helps because I look a bit better here in November 2018, being aware of what I'm consuming and if that's in line like with my goals. January 2019, another online challenge, but still what I was really lacking were effective workouts. So this is May 2019. This is the last picture I had before I really started resistance training and utilizing progressive overload. In that summer 2019, I moved here to where we live now, and we have a gym here. So this is when I really started taking to weight training and understanding progressive overload. So I began recording all of my workouts. I started focusing on more of the bigger lifts, so a barbell back squat, bench press, and deadlifts. And of course, all of the accessory lifts as well. Pull-ups, of course, that's more of a compound lift. I would record all my workouts, and I would try to improve, my form always, first and foremost, really focusing on my form. I started watching YouTube videos on proper form and focusing on the right muscles, and then I would try to increase weight from week to week. And I would find workouts to do, and I would stick to those workouts and just try to improve from the prior week. So I stopped switching my workouts. I still did do a bit of HIIT because I didn't fully understand how to incorporate HIIT, and I would prioritize that a bit here and there, but I definitely started using weights and using them correctly. I also started tracking my macros. So from that summer to the end of the year in 2019, I started out eating 1,900 calories, and I was increasing that to about 2,300 calories, also tracking my macros. So you can see here the pictures just in a few months, already in August, September, like my body was already transforming. I'm a lot more toned, you could see more muscle, I'm a lot more lean. So compare that to May, before I started focusing on lifting heavier weights. to just a couple months later, it's like a huge difference. So you can really see the importance of lifting correctly, lifting heavy, trying to increase your weight, recording your workouts, sticking to the same workouts, not changing them every week. And then this is October. So again, I really leaned down, and this is because of the change in my training, but I was also tracking my macros and calories and eating right for my body. January, I did a little cut. I don't really have pictures, but this is February. Not much changed. And then we're into 2020. COVID happens, lockdown. I still kept up my workouts. I was working out regularly, but I kind of got really lenient with tracking. So June 1st, I was like, I want to do a little mini cut. So I reduced my calories to about 1,500, of course, tracking macros, and I increased my cardio. Still did resistance training from home. I would just use like bags of golf balls, and I would get creative. And then in that month, I lost a decent amount of weight. I mean, you can just tell by the pictures, I really toned up. I burned some fat, lost some fat there. So I was really happy with my mini cut. I was proud of myself for putting that together. By this time, I had also completed 3 of my certifications: my personal training certification, sports nutrition certification, and my bodybuilding specialist certification. So by this time, I obviously had a lot more knowledge. I was more clear on how to properly transform your body, your body recomposition, how to lose fat, build muscle, tone up, all of that. This is from August. So yeah, I really kept on that physique during this time. This is from October, back gains. Since the end of 2020, I started kind of like a bulking phase because I wanted to put on more muscle. So I've been eating in a calorie surplus since November, I believe, up until I started prep for my very first bikini competition. I started prep about 7 weeks ago now. So for a good 6 months, I was eating in a surplus to put on muscle. And now, of course, I'm in a deficit for my bikini competition that's coming up in September. So I'm really excited about that. So I'll do another video where I share my whole journey through the bikini prep when that comes around. I'm doing clips here and there about my progress so far, but I'm gonna put a video together when it's all said and done. It was really fun to look back on this journey from 2015 when I knew I wasn't happy with my status, with my physique, with how I was eating, with the choices I was making. I knew I wanted to make a change. So it's been a journey, to say the least. I definitely lost a few years there because I wasn't clear on, the proper way or the most effective way to kind of reach my fitness and physique goals. But it was a journey nonetheless. It's so cool that I have that data to look back on and to see my weight loss journey initially. So, something I wanted to mention was that initial weight loss journey in 2015, those 3 months, I went from 130 to 120. So I lost 10 pounds of fat mostly. But my current weight right now is about 125. So I'm 5 pounds heavier than this picture from 2015. And you can tell I look a lot different. If anything, I'm much more toned. I have a lot more muscle. So of course, over time, as you put on muscle mass, if you're resistance training, that weighs more, but you're not gonna put on that much muscle, in those 3 months that quickly. So you're still gonna see, your weight decrease. If your goal is just to lose fat, I'm not comparing my weight now to then. That's not the point, because obviously I wanna put on muscle. So it's just data, it's just to help you see if what you're eating is working, and you can just use that as sort of feedback. And if you need to make adjustments on increasing your calories or decreasing your calories, things like that. But definitely prioritizing protein is very, very important. Well, I guess number 1 would be your total calorie intake. Number 2 would definitely be your protein, and then progressive overload, resistance training. Lift heavy, use correct form, do your research. Those are the things I've learned throughout my fitness journey so far. I'm definitely on to the next chapter, with my bikini competition coming up. If you have any questions, you could put them down in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. You can also find me on Instagram if you're not already there, where I post educational content that could help you on your personal journey. So just let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.